thank you for coming today. I assume you didn't come here to listen about Binance bragging about itself, but we did have a rather extensive and quite a compressed time in terms of how intensive the experience has been. We started back in 2017, and in fact, we were born out of an ICO, out of the mission and vision that we can deliver, we can create a better crypto exchange. The vision has been growing, and the latest mission we are embarking on, and I think it's going to take a long time, is to spread the freedom of money. Now, freedom of money doesn't mean free money, which would be nice, but we're talking about how the basic building blocks of economy nowadays, the creation of value, the storage of value, and the transfer, or the mutual transfer, which is exchange of value, is having, as David says, a lot of friction. And those friction are not necessarily by design, like nobody's intending to add friction for no reasons. But the way it is right now, the system of money, the system of the clearing houses, the system of the central or trusted third parties, all add additional layers, additional stages. When we have international wire transfers, the intended time is, or the anticipated time is 1 to 5 business days. So when you're doing this on weekends, for example, you're out of luck. And there are so many different things in the current system that does not give you the freedom of transaction, the freedom of choice, the freedom of how to fund your idea. So the latest mission we have is to spread the freedom of money through encouraging the adoption of cryptocurrency. So at a glance, Binance already serves people from 180 countries around the world. And we're a global company with a global team. So the team members we have span 39 different countries. So people from 39 different countries have joined Binance as part of the Binance team. And the ecosystem not only have the Binance exchange, but also has a few different pillars. I will go into them a little bit later, right? Just to let you know, it's not one of those ecosystems where we're expanding for the sake of making more money. In fact, every single pillar of the ecosystem has a meaning in it, has a pivotal purpose in helping us to increase the adoption of cryptocurrency and therefore spreading the freedom of money. So when we look at Lewis's presentation about what are some of the current difficulties, he mentioned security as one of the concerns when picking crypto exchanges. And yes, there has been mishaps in the industry, right? But this is something that, if you look at it, it's rather digital. It's like either you have been compromised or you have not. But in actual fact, in actual practice, it is a technology. Security is a technology that requires an ever-evolving, better practice, because there is no single best practice. As the dark side of the world continue to revamp their methodology and try to crack at, no matter if it's through social hacking, no matter if it's the weakest link, if any of the employees have the wrong version of the OS installed on their computer, or if they're really loose, not disciplined about how they keep their password information. And at the very end, it comes down to how you store the crypto asset at the exchange level, right? And whether you're using code or hot wallet, all that comes into play. And I would say Binance is constantly working on that. Even though we toot and we perceive ourselves as the most secure, given the volume, given the attention, given the gravity we have gained, we're still upping our security. We have never been compromised, and we'll make sure that stays that way. In fact, we have gone a step further. We have actually put together a Seifu fund that is accruing at a rate of 10% of all trading fee we garner would go to that Seifu fund. So in case anything happens, unforeseeable happens, there's fund set up to protect the users. We also too one of the fastest engines in the market. And we're talking about 1.4 million transactions per second, right? Now, how fast is that? So last year in December, when we reached #1 in total trading volume out of all the crypto exchanges, and at the height of that, we reached about $10 billion worth of trading volume in one single day, right? At that time, it was only scratching the single-digit capability of our core matching engine. So I think we have a lot of room to grow because as we improve and upgrade, the total capacity is a lot higher. So yes, it is a wild jungle out there. There's a lot of shitcoins out there. Whenever people go into crypto, they think, okay, the first play is to find an exchange or join ICO and try their luck. But if their mentality is so, that becomes a more casino play. And we don't like that. We think users who are associated with Binance should have a much better subset of selection, quality selection. And that's why we actually have a big team of analysts who are not external facing, because if they are, they may have the opportunity to be compromised. They're highly disciplined, of course, they're highly ethical, but we don't want any particular catalyst, right, to try to bias, to skew their decisions, so they're never external facing. And they work so hard at it that last year, like December when I went to Russia, I did the stats, and the actual pass rate of how many projects get to be listed on Binance out of all the applications is actually less than 3%. And I think they've gone more strict lately, so it's actually less than 3%, probably closer to 1%. That's why whenever we go to blockchain conferences, a lot of people try to swarm us. And they say, okay, so I have this project. So, okay, there's a form online. If you Google listing on Binance, listing a coin on Binance, there's the Google form. You can fill that out because that's the only way you can get to the review team. There's no other way. If you talk to me, I cannot help you. Make sure all the information is in there, right? We're doing this not because we want to play the judge or play the god, but the fact is the world needs a crypto exchange that shoulders the responsibility of making the right decisions. If we're presenting the free market to the rest of the world, we're simply facilitating it, right? There's no point. In terms of liquidity, because of the trust we have garnered, because of the quality project selection, people have felt it is a good choice to put their crypto on Binance. And because of the great experience and the fast engine and the fluid user experience, people have put more volume, more trading volume on Binance. And as a result, as a matter of fact, most of the tokens or coins we list, most of the pairs we have, they have the largest volume out of all the markets across the different exchanges. And I think it's the result of how we treat the project selection, how we treat the user interface, and how we take care of the users. But it's not something that we can actually proactively change. User friendliness is something we continue to evolve on, and we want to do much better. Knowledgebase is also something that we believe a traditional exchange doesn't offer, but as a crypto exchange who's trying to increase the adoption of cryptocurrency should work on as well. I'll go into that a little bit more later. The engagement of the community and the transparency of our policy and communication all plays a role in how we became the world's most popular exchange. So we continue to add major language groups, right? So when I was in Istanbul, actually a month ago, we just added Turkish to the available languages Binance.com is about to be viewable in. And we want to add more. So language is one of the very important interfaces that user perceives. English is not always the primary language, of course, so we respect that a lot. We have Windows client, Mac OS client, iOS, Android apps, or you can trade directly on the web interface or the mobile web. So anytime, anywhere, you can choose to interact with the platform using the way you want. And customer support is something that is actually quite tricky if you think about it. If we're successful in bringing more people into the cryptoverse, naturally, they would have a lot of difficulty understanding why do they need to keep the private key confidential. Like when they're dealing with the good old banks and traditional finance side of things, when a card is stolen, they can call somebody and help them out. So there definitely is some kind of a learning curve in crypto, but we're working on it. As far as I understand, this is already the best in the crypto industry side of things, but I believe there's a lot more we can do. So knowledge base-wise, we have quite a few pillars. One of them is Binance info. So right now, there's more than 10,000 different crypto projects in the world, right? Many more we don't know of. And we're trying to build out a crypto codex so people can actually find comprehensive information about the project they would like to invest in or want to learn more about. So Binance info not only has the projects that Binance lists, but also the other ones we don't list, right? So it's actually unbiased. What we do offer is actually, there's no laser pointer here, but it's actually, you see some of the third-party research reports are also made available, right? And there's also in-depth information, including the charting, including how you can go to the different communities. You can also look at the white papers about the team, the latest news, things like that, right? So what if you don't want to learn about the projects? You seriously, genuinely just want to know more about the technology, about blockchain, about crypto. And that's why we started the Binance Academy. So Binance Academy is about education. It's open access. It's a free-for-all platform where you can learn about, in short snippets of videos, what is Bitcoin, what is mining, maker-takers. You can also browse it by articles. And also some of the jargons. There's already 400 or more on there, right? So Binance Academy is actually completely commercial free, it's complete cost free, it's free access for all. And we really want to help the world get to know more about what blockchain and cryptocurrency can do. So we haven't put on there, I don't think, but a fun fact. So back in 2010, on 22nd of May, a guy ordered 2 Papa John's pizzas with 10,000 Bitcoins. I don't know what he ordered, but those are damn good pizzas. Because by today's valuation, those 2 pizzas cost more than $60 million. I think that deserves the glossary term in there. I'll remind the guys. So in terms of the community, in terms of the transparency of communication, it's something that we feel is not the basic requirement of a crypto exchange, but as a conscientious team, organization whose mission is to spread freedom of money, I think we should do a lot more of that. So on a regular basis, we have communications. This initiative actually, when we launched Binance Academy, we announced the distributed, so the decentralized exchange we're going to announce soon. We did Ask Me Anything for the Labs team. We did different rounds of community voting. We also produce monthly reports, right? It's a recap of what we did over the past 30 days, as well as conveying confidence. Because there's this air of mystique around crypto per se and crypto exchanges. Some of the crypto exchanges and blockchain companies choose to have a closed-door policy. The less you ask, the better. But we actually choose to go out of our own way to be really open about it. There will always be more questions, obviously, right? But instead of waiting for that to come, we want to be very, very upfront, because we are shouldering the lead responsibility right now as everybody look to the largest exchange, crypto exchange in the world, to broaden the horizon and to really sanitize the whatever mal-notion people had about crypto in the past. So the first and most central, most pivotal pillar of the ecosystem is, of course, the exchange, right? Humbly put, I think we're popular because the users around the world, the project teams are willing to support us. So we thank everybody for the continued support. As we increase the impact from building a better crypto exchange to trying to promote the freedom of money and ultimately increase the adoption of cryptocurrency to every part of the world, we need an incubator. So Labs is the incubator that focuses on crypto and blockchain-related technology. So they focus more on infrastructure impacting technologies. But any kind of good ideas, if you have, and you were interested to get the Labs team to take a look, please go to labs.binance.com. There is a form for that. And ICO is actually one of the fast-growing ways to raise fund for your idea or for your venture. And Launchpad is an ICO platform service. We call it the token sale platform, right? It has been quite quiet because we haven't found that many worthwhile, because any kind of project launching on the Binance Launchpad would be of great endorsement from Binance. So that's why we're actually very, very careful about the selection. Info is the crypto codex I talked about. If you're one of the investors, you want to understand the different projects, whether you're investing them or not, Info is a great place to go. We also have the Blockchain Charity Foundation. So charity is one of the things, one of the initiatives that can really use the transparent, the verifiable, the cost-effective characteristic of blockchain to a very great extent. And we believe once we are finished with the platform, we should be able to host multiple charity programs where the actual donation all the way to the end recipient can be completely tracked in a transparent way on the distributed ledger. So we look forward to the actual launch of the platform. We also acquired a mobile crypto wallet called Trust Wallet, because in the future, when crypto is everywhere, people are not going to have bank cards or credit cards per se. People are just going to have whatever device, personal device, whether it's being planted in their brain, on their mobile phone, on their watch, wherever. It's going to be the most important, most commonplace interface people use to interact with the crypto economy. Because there's not going to be a particular bank per se. It's actually the choice of the user to hold your crypto asset. You can actually hold it yourself. It's of the same convenience as if you leave it on exchange, but the choice is yours. So that's why wallet technology, no matter if it's mobile, software, hardware wallet, these are pivotal technologies in proliferating the crypto adoption. And most importantly, we believe the ultimate on-ramp to get people into crypto is not fiat to crypto exchange. It's about education. If you understand the power and choice blockchain and crypto can provide the world ultimately, I think we move a little bit closer to increased adoption. And thankfully, because of the mission, because of the vision we believe in, and because of the way we have been carrying ourselves and executing and being transparent and being proactive and being conscientious in our decisions, we are gathering support around the world. So we do these things called meetups around the world. And it's not about shilling Binance because a lot of the people who come are actually supporters already. But with these supporters, we're able to propagate the good of crypto and blockchain even further. That was in Berlin. We did it in Mexico, Guatemala. This was in Jeju in Korea, Lodz in Poland, Saigon in Vietnam, Cologne in Germany, and also last month I was in Istanbul in Turkey. Hyderabad was a very special one because a month before arriving on scene, the central bank actually cracked down on the banks locally, stopping the banks from providing service to the local fiat to crypto exchanges. And when we went to the conference there, which is when the meetup was also held, there was a lot of interest and enthusiasm around crypto, around blockchain. And everybody was asking, so what's going to happen? So what do we think about how regulators are trying to thwart it? And we have always felt that regulators are always trying to protect the people. And rightfully, they should be careful about setting up the regulation because it should be pro-innovation as well as protective of the users. So I assured them that the technology is not going away. And before the regulation allows, we will continue our education spree. Learning about blockchain and learning about cryptocurrency is always available, regardless of whether you can trade, you can hold, whether you can access fiat to crypto exchanges. So when everybody's educated, then when the regulator or the framework is ready, I think that's when we actually can accelerate. So the Binance ecosystem with the mission to proliferate cryptocurrency around the world, to promote the freedom of money, is here to stay. And we hope the way we're doing things, the conscientious, the transparent way of doing things, is setting a good example for the rest of the crypto industry, and hopefully is setting a good example of how innovations, how disruptions should be taken, should be rolled out with respect for the current incumbents and for the respect of the users' well-beings. Thank you very much.